eight, seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
on the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Thankful that you're with us. And it's going to be a great show today. It is March the 7th, 2024. And it's anniversary of the new day that I started in my life, which brought me to a whole other life, which is the next chapter kind of thing in my life. So it's been 31 years of my new life, and so it's a great day. On the heels of a sad day yesterday, which was the anniversary of our passing away of our daughter, so it kind of comes as a bitter sweet 2 days each year on March the 6th, March the 7th. But anyways, as you can hear in the background, we have a Nick joining us today. So Nick, might as well bring you in and just say good morning to you.
I meant to call you yesterday and be like, what's this special day?
Yeah.
But I'm sorry to hear about your daughter. That
Yes.
must have been hard. You know?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
definitely was hard. It's not easy to lose a child. Anyone who has then knows what it's like. And
Yeah.
if you
I don't.
haven't, you don't. But it doesn't take much to imagine what it would be like. So
No.
even if you haven't, I can respect people who say, oh, I can only imagine, or, like,
Yeah.
because, but this is the thing that I've heard people say is that I wouldn't be able to go on living.
But
And I
because of
say,
your
well,
faith,
that's
that's been.
yeah, no, for sure. That's definitely helped.
But you're
everything.
saying even people who have faith,
Even if
they've
people,
struggled.
yeah. And again, my wife and I, looking into it, marriages that have gone through the death of a child, most of them, didn't make it
It's
because
true.
people grieve differently, right? So
Yeah.
and then you expect the other person to grieve like you do, and then you're wondering why they're not grieving when you are, but that's just because they go through a different cycle, and so you kind of get at odds with one another. You're like, well, you don't really think this is as whatever that
Right.
I do, or what, and then it starts getting things, and then not only are you struggling with what happened, but you're now struggling with the person who should be your greatest support.
Yeah. Yeah. Gets pretty complicated. I'm really lucky that I didn't have to go through any of that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would say if I had to choose, if someone
You
said,
know?
choose what you want to go to do, I would probably not choose, oh yeah, I want to go through
No.
that, but people do.
Yeah.
And people,
Mhm.
and again, that's what I mean. Like people say, I wouldn't be able to go on living, and I can understand that feeling. And I felt that feeling.
But you would have
How,
missed out on a lot of goodness.
for sure. Yes. And, uh, death is a part of life, and we're all going to face that
And
at
really,
some point, right?
Aaron,
So
when you believe in eternal perspective, we don't ever die.
that's
Actually.
what I believe, and I
Me
know
too.
you do too. Yeah,
So
not
it's
everybody
nice
does.
to have some type of faith that you realize, like, oh, you will be reunited with your
Yes,
daughter and you'll have the opportunity to raise her. That is just so cool.
there's a lot of positive things to think about with that definitely help with being sane, keeping sane,
Hmm.
and putting it into perspective, and then being at some point a positive thing. And there's many positive things to learn. Like I learned so much from her life. Her life taught me so many valuable lessons in such a short period of time that, just looking at that aspect alone, it's always perspective. And when you have
Yep.
what we would call an internal perspective, then that you realize this life isn't all that there is. And so there's more to it. And
More to it.
that's why I kind of like at funerals and things, I talked about this the other day. It's too bad you couldn't have a funeral before your funeral. So hear all the good things people have to say about you.
Yeah.
And you wait until that happens. Anyways, so we'll talk about anything today. How about that? There's lots to talk about. There's local news, there's sports, there's weather. Let's kick it off with some weather. And the Wolves played last night. We'll have a little bit on that. And the Five are going to be part of the Basketball Super League All-Star game right here in Sudbury. So basically that's it. Other than telling you what the score was from last night's game, that's going to be our Sudbury sports segment. But we'll be back with the weather, a little bit of sports, your comments, and a Nick Gervais right after this. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great show. And yes, when I came to work last night, I realized I forgot my glasses. So this is people. I remember seeing people that I was used to seeing with glasses on that weren't wearing their glasses. It looked very strange to me, but I'm used to seeing me with glasses and without glasses. But I apologize for people if it's if it's I don't know if it's shocking or something. I'm not wearing glasses today. Anyways, it's not the first time I've done the show without glasses, but I've only done maybe one or two. -5 degrees currently. It feels like -12. It is mainly sunny. It will be sunny today. And light winds. High of 6. Wind chill will feel like -10 this morning, however. And tonight, clear still. And a low of -4. Wind chill will feel like -7 overnight. Friday, sunny. Increasing cloudiness near noon. And then high of 6. Wind chill will be -8 in the morning. Wind is very mild again. So, but increasing cloudiness. It says for tomorrow, for your long range, high of -6. Rain on Saturday, high of plus. It's a high of +6 tomorrow, +7 on Saturday. And then Sunday, chance of flurries, 60%, a high of -3. Sunny on Monday. It said sunny on Monday and Tuesday yesterday in the forecast. But it's sunny on Monday, high of 7. Mix of sun and cloud, high of 9 degrees on Tuesday. 30% chance of flurries or showers on Wednesday, high of +7. But look at that, eh? +6, +7, +9 during this next 6 days. And
I'm here for it.
we only have 1 day of -3, and that's on Sunday. And this is what your satellite looks like for your clear skies today. And just look at the cloud formation over by Ottawa there. It's just
Wow.
weird. That's the weird, like it's just the kind of line. Usually the clouds look a little bit more like they look like over to the left. That just looks kind of weird and
Wow.
ominous. But anyways, it is what it is. That's your Sudbury weather, brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. We'll be back with a little bit of sports, news headlines, and Nick Gervais, your comments, and much more right after this. Okay, and we are back, and we are here with Nick, and she was nice enough to come on the show this morning. She was on the show yesterday as well, and people definitely enjoy when you're on the show, Nick, and so it's always great. Every second week we have you for a few days, and we appreciate that.
Well, thanks.
And
I'll be on tomorrow.
Awesome, that's awesome. And speaking of being on, we have quite a good group on so far this morning. Judy's with us. Monique is with us. Good morning, guys. And Monique is with us as well. There are 2 Moniques on the show. And Vin's here. Good morning, Vin. Jerome, morning, Sudbury, Marianne. Oh, happy anniversary. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And good morning, Nick. So we have Maurice with us as well. Thank you very much, Vin. Much appreciated. And Marianne as well. Maurice, thank you very much. And in the media of valet online orientation, time for a Sudbury news break. Oh, ever cool. Thanks,
Oh,
Jerome, for taking time out of your training to join us. Much appreciated. Liette, good morning from Collingwood. Marianne. Okay, yes, for sure. I appreciate that, guys. All the love. And I didn't mention that at all to have anybody, I don't, yeah, I'm
yeah,
not,
we know, Aaron.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just mentioned it. It is what it is.
It is what it is. But then I start asking questions.
Yes. Good morning, Belinda. Like wildflowers, you must allow yourself to grow in all the places people thought you would never grow. Heart emoji. Love that. It's always makes you think, okay, yeah. And then it's a really good start to the show, these positive things. So allow yourself to grow in all the places people thought you would never grow. And a lot of times I take that as, I don't know if you're the same, and if someone tells you you can't do something, is that a
Oh,
motivator for you? It is for me.
oh, it is. Don't
Yeah.
say no because Nick will find a way. And you know what? I think that it's been a blessing in my life hearing the word no or people telling me, Nick, you can't do this because
Mm-hmm.
like we were talking about Big Brother. I was really into New Age and I was talking to my angel reader person and I was like, do you think I'll make Big Brother? And she said no.
Oh,
And I'm like, oh, I'm going to prove her wrong. So I didn't just submit a video. I went to Toronto and waited in a lineup.
huh.
So
Well,
I
that's
like
awesome.
hearing the no.
And really, and you would think if you were going to that person for like spiritual guidance in some way or whatever, like you would go to, I don't know,
She would
any,
know.
yeah, you'd be like, oh, well, she must know. And so I'm not going to get on. But you didn't
Yeah.
look at it like that. You
No.
went even above and beyond and said, oh, yeah.
Where, if she was actually knew the truth, she would have said, you have to go to Toronto.
So you
But
learned
she didn't.
you learned a couple things from that experience then.
Yeah, not to always believe. Well, I
Well,
don't believe in any of that anymore, but it's a
it was
numbers game.
a learning experience though, right?
It's a great learning
Yeah.
experience. And,
Yeah.
I had training in Toronto that weekend anyway. So I was going to Toronto. So I ended up just working out perfectly. The whole weekend was crazy. But so, yeah. So even in business, I remember selling to valet and things like that. People said, you'll never get a vendor number. I'm like, you watch me.
And that's the thing. So thanks, Belinda, for that positive statement this morning. It's very true as usual and starts off a great conversation on the show.
Oh,
Ev-
Gmail is down.
what?
Sorry. That's what Evelyn is saying. She says, good morning. So Facebook was down the other day and today it's Gmail. So I'm guessing servers are not dependable. Let's
Huh.
go check.
Oh, I thought I used Gmail a second ago or whatever, but maybe it's
Oh,
down
yeah.
now. It's down?
I clicked on Switcher link. No, it's not down for me.
Oh, okay. It wasn't down for me this morning either. So maybe certain people or whatever, or maybe it was
Yeah.
down for a short period of time. I'm not sure. But thanks for that. Keep us informed if anything like that is going on. And thanks, Belinda. Much appreciated on that. As well as Liette. Very appreciated. And Yolande, good morning. And Jerome says, thank you very much. Condolences. I appreciate that. And yes, my little Sarah, it was way back in the early 2000s. So she was just under 2 years old. And, but she left a legacy in a short period of time.
It's a pretty cool story. I remember you telling me where neighbors knew she had passed away because there was a beaming of light shining over your house.
Yes. So the person who called us was her nurse that would come, and relieve us some of the nights because we took care of her in her home. She was terminal, and really great people from Easter Seals and from the VON and whatever. And so we were really thankful for them. So one of her nurses who got to know her very well, and she obviously they all got attached to her. She was driving to one of her other jobs, and she drove by our house, and it was cloudy everywhere. But there was just a little opening over our house where the sun was coming down on the house, and she said she knew
So cool.
Sarah had passed away from that. So, yeah, like just interesting to hear that story and many, many more like that around her life and passing, and so it taught us a lot about a lot of things as well. And like I said, she was a great teacher. So good morning, Louise. Thanks for being with us, and Debbie too. It's funny. Natalie Labby says this reminds her of a show called Romper Room back in the day, where they would take this little circular thing that looked like a lollipop or whatever, and they'd look through it and they'd say they could see all the kids on the other side of the TV. But it is kind of similar. Good morning, Chris. Thanks for being with us, as well as Denise
I feel like I remember that.
from Espanola. You could have. Monique, good day, everyone. Several Moniques on today. Brian, good morning. And Jesse, good morning to you. And yeah, exactly. Just tell me I can't. So much appreciated for everybody here and your comments. We got a great bunch on this morning. I'm looking for anybody who might be joining us for the first time or not very often or whatever as we go through the comments. And speaking of someone here, Helena, good morning.
Good morning.
On before, but thanks for joining us. Yeah, Romper Room mirror. That's what it was. It was a mirror. Thank you for that, Marianne. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at what's going on here today in the great city of ours. After just letting everyone know, because we didn't share that the Sudbury Wolves were in action last night against the Sioux Greyhounds right here in town. They were down, I think it was 2-0, stormed back and went to overtime. And then with just under a minute left in the game, the Sioux Greyhounds scored and we lost.
Oh, boo.
Yes. But we're also playing this Friday here before we head to North Bay on Tuesday. So get out and support your Sudbury Wolves. Friday's games are packed usually, so you want to make sure to get your tickets rather early. And catch the game right here on CKLU if you can't. Well, right here on CKLU. We're not even on CKLU again this morning. We're only on YouTube, Facebook for the moment because Laurentian University was hacked. And we lost the ability to remote.
They were hacked.
Yeah.
They probably were, actually. They're probably the government or the elites probably, this is a stupid, theory that kind of makes sense in my brain. They probably hired a bunch of hackers, you know? And the hackers don't even realize that they're hacked by these people. It's just like, hey.
Again,
do this.
So this is where when something's a mystery and we don't have all the facts because they're not really presented to us, like you would think like news was supposed to do or used to do.
Yeah.
When something like this happened, they went out to get all the facts to inform people. So that way you didn't have to kind of connect your own dots. But yeah. But then,
These days.
if you can get media to kind of go along with you and, not say certain things or not reveal certain facts, and then over time, blah, blah, blah.
Issues.
I think, many corporations buying up all the news outlets, so only a few companies own all the news. It gets less and less like that, and now they're just getting fired anyways, all the journalists in Canada anyways.
And I wonder if they're going to come out and, because they already lost their job. What's the point of saving face.
I don't know. That's the thing, right? So media in this
And then they'll just
country,
spin it like that. Oh, they lost their job. They're just saying this now because they lost their job and they're mad. But it's just like they're actually
possibly.
sharing the truth.
Yeah, and possibly. And then it's getting harder and harder to share those messages anyways, because they're going to make it illegal to do anything other than be a mainstream state run media kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So you're only going to end up with state run media is what it's coming down to. You'll have CBC and you might have
Ooh.
CTV too, just to make it look like you have another news or whatever. But again, like we talked about the online news act, that's one thing. Bill C-11, Bill C-18. We can't share news on Facebook.
36.
Yeah, and then the new, you know what I mean, hate speech. So if you do get a chance to still stay on the air and you say, I don't agree with the police, I don't think they're doing their job. Knock, knock, knock.
Jail.
Yeah, you're being arrested for hate
Detained.
speech. Yeah, hate speech.
So I saw a clip yesterday. Remember when I said I don't think there's going to be an election?
Yeah.
I saw a clip. Someone said, so if anybody has an Alexa, I don't have any of that crap in my house because that creeps me out. But supposedly, if you say, hey, Alexa, when is going to be the election this year? And Alexa says, there will not be an election this year.
Okay.
I'm like, oh.
Well, anyone with an Alexa,
check it out. Try it out.
check it out. See if it works. I remember hearing certain things like that. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. So it's you got to try that yourself. But remember when you found the part in the policies of Amazon that talked about the zombie apocalypse?
Yes, of a possible zombie apocalypse, that this policy won't go and, Yeah,
in the case of a zombie apocalypse, you won't be able to purchase a certain thing at a certain time or something. It was right in the policy. And then
people are like, oh, that's just Amazon playing the role. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? This is a legal document.
Yeah.
With nerds.
And if it was a joke, that was weird.
Wrote this. It's not a joke.
Kind of thing, right?
I'm going to try to find it.
So, as you know, the Basketball Super League will be having their All-Star game right here in Sudbury. So that's something that you might want to get out and experience. And that'll be on Saturday right here. And tickets can be as low as $15, everyone, to get out and see a All-Star basketball game right here in Sudbury. And there's going to be some really cool people here. So you're looking for it. Nancy was wondering about that. She says zombie apocalypse. And good morning, Nancy.
I'm going to try to find it.
I think it's gone now. Like, I think they took it out, but it was there at one time. So maybe you'll find what it used to say. I think they changed it because so many people were finding it and wondering what the heck. So while you're doing that, we're going to look at our news aggregator, Sudbury.news. Had a meeting with a web developer yesterday to let everyone know we're working on an app. So that way you can have Sudbury News as an app on your cell phone. And anytime you want to check out the latest local news headlines, click on your app and it's just scroll along and there's all the latest news just like you have on the website. Pretty much it's the same thing as the website, but it will be on an app and only available for Android at first and then later Apple. So
that's cool.
Getting a quote. Hopefully it's not, something I can't afford. Then we won't be having an app.
Then you look at Fiverr. It's just a bunch of like
cheaper developers and exactly.
Yes.
So this coming right in from Sudbury.com, aggregating on Sudbury.news. Public health issues a new warning about toxic substances here in the community. The community drug strategy is warning of a new and potent bluish green looking substance that is causing overly long periods of sedation and possibly deaths. So that requires a click. So this coming from Sudbury.com, as said earlier. They point to several substances that could be circulating locally, including but not limited to benzos.
I feel like it's so much harder to search my phone now. Like I search the word zombie and I've talked about zombies in my notes a lot and it's just
Yeah.
bringing up one note, you know?
Oh, okay. I
And I
see what you
know
mean.
I
Yeah.
saved this because I've gone to the anyway.
I remember you showing it to me,
Yeah.
on your phone.
Yeah.
Was it on that phone or a phone before that? Or it should save it anyways because it's all in the
It should
cloud.
save it because it's on Gmail.
Yeah. Yeah. So this toxic substance could also be in fentanyl, surprise, surprise, or carfentanil, as well as a new potent bluish green looking substance being referred to as down.
What?
So the Sudbury Community Drug Strategy is warning of an increase in suspected drug poisonings, which could be caused by adulterated substances in the supply. So several substances could be included in this tainted supply, circulating locally, including but not limited to benzos, fentanyl or carfentanil, as well as a new potent bluish green looking substance being referred to as down. So there's a new drug out there called down, and it could be affected with these poisonous substances as well that could cause death.
Hmm.
Good morning, Sarah. Thanks for being with us. Much appreciated. Hope you're having a great Thursday. One more day to go in the week tomorrow, and then it's the weekend. But yeah, so workers report witnessing heavy nods accompanied by long periods of sedation. An overdose occurs when a person uses substance and their body is unable to handle the effects. Well, I appreciate that definition. As a result, the brain is unable to control basic life functions. The person might pass out, stop breathing, or experience a seizure. Overdoses can be fatal or non-fatal. So again, I would just say avoid using any of these drugs at any cost.
Guys, don't do drugs, man.
That's
It's just not
what
good.
it comes down to.
Like,
right?
just stay away from it. Even
Yeah.
weed now, like weird stuff is happening. It's just not good. Also, there's some studies now that are showing that marijuana is not as good as everybody thinks.
Oh yeah, because that was all the hype of it to legalize it and everything. That
I guess kind of like cigarettes. Cigarettes was really good for everybody. Remember that?
it wasn't bad, that's for sure. Yeah, for sure. It tasted great. They had doctors promoting it. You name it. Yeah, crazy. Another story from CBC. A mother quit her job because she couldn't get affordable childcare. Had a discussion with a coworker the other day about CBC and how they felt CBC wasn't all that biased. And I appreciated and this person was kind of legit. They aren't they don't buy into any of the stuff that's out there kind of thing. They're not woke, quote unquote woke, or whatever the term is.
Right.
But never really noticed that the CBC, they did notice certain things, but
right.
But this story goes along with the communist coalition, the dual emperors, if you will. We have two co-emperors of the country in Jagmeet Singh and Justin Trudeau. And this article goes along with what they want. They want the universal health care. Well, we already have that. Daycare, the $10 a day daycare. They want dental care. They want pharma care. They want communist care. I mean, wait, it's all communist care. So,
right.
So this story goes along with. So they're always gonna share stories that go along to promote these types of ideologies that they want instituted, right? So that's one of my pet peeves with CBC. She had to quit her job because she couldn't get affordable health care. That's why we need the $10 a day. So parents in Sudbury, say they have to either stay home with their children or pay the higher cost of private childcare due to long waiting lists to access licensed, subsidized daycares. Communist, by the way. Communist. When I
But
say
I thought
that,
it was a good thing because they changed the daycare to $10, and look at that.
well, this is the thing. It's communist, so it doesn't work. It never does. We
No.
want daycare for all.
Ooh.
We want a free lunch. We want everything to be like this. Well, you don't have enough workers. You don't have enough this. You don't have enough that. You don't have the infrastructure. You need
Can I-
sound infrastructure first.
So, can I share something that I saw that talks about this?
Sure.
So, this lady was like, I remember you sharing something about communists and you had a description about cows. Can you
Yeah.
share it? And the lady's like, oh, it's an oldie but a goldie. Socialism. You have 2 cows. Give me 1 cow to give 1 cow to your neighbor. Communism. You have 2 cows. Give both cows to the government and they may give you some milk. Fascism. You have 2
Fascism.
cows. You give all of the milk to the government and the government sells it. Nazism. You have 2 cows. The government shoots you and takes both cows.
Nazism, yeah.
Nazism. Anarchism. I have difficulty saying these words.
Anarchism. Yeah, anarchy.
It's my
Yep.
French. It's my French, guys. You have 2 cows. Keep both cows. Shoot the government agent and steals another cow. Capitalism. You have 2 cows. You sell one and you buy a bull.
Yeah. So again, right? And that's a tongue-in-cheek, I guess, very oversimplified, kind of humorous way of looking at it. But it really does kind of start the conversation a little bit. It does shed a little bit of light. There is some truth in the humor there. It would take way more unpacking than that. But yeah, no, I'm glad you shared that because the different forms of governance, a lot of people think these days because they've been propagandized that communism is warm and cuddly and it's just we haven't been able to live a more pure form of communism
Then go
yet.
to China. Go to Russia.
No, not that kind of communism. They don't want that kind of communism.
Okay.
They want the Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren.
He wasn't
communism.
elected.
What's that?
Okay, guys. He wasn't elected for a reason.
Yeah. But Justin Trudeau's communism, that is a real thing for sure.
Yeah.
He was elected with a minority government, but you see what he did, kind of communist. He got a hold of another party who's also communist and said, hey, let's just form an unelected government and rule as if we were a majority, right? We didn't vote for that, but that's how
I
they're
saw a really
running
good
the
clip
country.
from an Australian news person, and he says, Justin Castro, I mean Trudeau. And he goes on this clip and he literally showcased like, look at what his father looks like and look at Trudeau. And it was just a funny clip. And they're literally making fun of Canada because, hey guys, the world is making fun of Canada right now because we're a joke. We're become a joke. And you know what, Aaron? No one's doing anything. And then people are like, what do you want us to do, Nick? And it's true. Like, what can we really do? Well, we can have the conversation. You can educate your friends and family about what's really going on. You can call your MP. You can also, your money, where you spend your money has great power. So we could stop supporting like Doritos. Oh my gosh, guys, stop buying Doritos because go look at Doritos' new campaign and the person that they use
in Spain or something.
Yes, you go to their
Spain.
Twitter account and they're literally pro pedophilia.
Mhm.
And they want this person, this trans person, I don't know what they are, like what they decide they are, but they want to break up the nucleus family. So it's just like, we need to stop supporting Doritos. We need to stop supporting these brands that are just attacking our children.
There's also okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to
there's-
skip subject because I found something.
There's also another protest going on, and that's against Kellogg's, mainly in the United States.
Okay.
So you know how, inflation is going sky high and, people's buying power is way less and homelessness is on the rise and addictions.
No, none of this is happening.
And taxes in Canada, at least, are about to set to explode again this April and make it even. And the food bank attendance is way up and record numbers. The owner or the CEO of Kellogg's in the United States says, well, cereal could be a good alternative for supper. You know what I mean? Like nothing wrong with cereal is a cheap alternative when times are tough, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, why don't you just buy Kellogg's and instead of making sure when you work, you actually make money, or when you make money, you go out and buy things that are affordable and the government isn't making things unaffordable for us. He said, just buy cereal. Like, come on, like it's hard times. It's almost like, buy Click or Spam or something.
Yeah,
Just
and then
eat
you
that.
look at the chemicals. Kellogg's here's the thing. So many of us are saying, how many of us ate McDonald's as a kid? And Nick, we ate that. It's not the same food, guys.
Yeah, it's worse now.
McDonald's used to fry their fries in
Certain oil.
beef fat. It's
Yeah,
talon.
you're right. You're
Talon.
right. Exactly.
Now it's all these kinds of oils. It's not the same food. Kellogg's is not the same cereal that I used to eat.
Good morning, Lori. She said that
Person was fired from Doritos yesterday.
Interesting.
All right. Well, that's good. But regardless, Doritos, you didn't do your due diligence.
Yep.
And you didn't even check this person's Twitter account. We
Yep.
should all boycott Doritos. Also, Doritos is insanely toxic. Insanely toxic. But I did find the Amazon update of their terms. And you're right, Aaron. They've removed it all.
Yeah.
But there's an article on The Guardian. So if anybody wants to just Google The Guardian, Amazon updates of zombie apocalypse, you will find it. And literally in their policy, it says this restriction will not apply in the event of an occurrence certified by United States Center of Disease Control or successor body of a widespread viral infection transmitted via bites or contact with bodily fluids that cause human corpse to reanimate and seek to consume living human flesh, blood, brain, or nerve tissue, and is likely to result in the fall of an organized civilization.
That was on the Amazon policies.
That was in their policy.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm trying to find did Amazon ever make a statement like it was a joke? I'm not seeing any of that.
Yeah. Well, when you are Jeff Bezos, you can make things go away.
Well, yeah. And you could
possibly
he's
one of the people that own media now, like Washington.
Yep.
Is it the Washington Times or the Washington Post? One of the two. Anyways.
Yeah.
But
I saw some crazy video. We're talking about bioengineering food. I saw this crazy video of this person making salad. It looks like salad. It's not salad. Guys, there is scientific proof that praying over your food, especially water, there's tons of science that backs it up that if you pray over your water, it changes the molecule structure of your water and it makes it healthier for you. So right now, when we don't know what we're eating, I would really recommend you all to just pray over your food, and it will change the molecule structure of your food because we don't know what we're eating anymore. And it's just going to get worse.
Crazy, eh? Yeah, food.
And they're talking about putting vaccines in a head of lettuce. So there's these policies in the States that they're already, the science is already there. They're already putting vaccines in the food. And the one guy's like, okay, well, that's fine. But I would like to know if I'm buying regular lettuce or pharma lettuce. Because I can't eat 12 balls of lettuce now. So I need to know how much lettuce I can have. Because this guy was pro-vaccine, but he's just like, we should be aware that some have the vaccine and some aren't. And the other guy was like, wait a second, this is already happening? It was just, and this is in like a court. This was all politicians sitting together and having this discussion.
Yeah, they're putting vaccines in the food now.
And they're vaccinating these, all our beef. Oh, in Texas, did you guys talk about that? All these fires? No. Oh, how convenient.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Attacking the food. Have a
Have
garden, guys. Possibly buy a cow.
Yeah, I don't even like what to talk about these days on the show, like if you really want to talk about every single thing that's going on, it's mind blowing. Like how many things
I
are
know.
going on in our world these days. Just trying to see. I saw a story yesterday. Valley East communities, our Valley East communities, which I think share so many really good stories a lot of the times. Mark, I guess Justin Trudeau was in town the other day.
Yeah, my brother
Any of you
said
know?
that he was in
Yeah,
Valcaron.
yeah. I never saw him there. I don't know.
No.
But the same person I was talking to, one of my colleagues about CBC and whatever, said, "Do you know how much Justin Trudeau pays for his security,
Ooh,
his private security,
500,000.
a month?
Oh, I don't know. A year.
30 million a year.
Wow. Dude, if
Yeah,
you have to
over
pay that
30
much
million a year
if
just
you
for
have to
security.
pay that much for security, you should not be our prime minister. Obviously, you're hated.
Yeah, his own security, not just security in general for the parliament buildings or anything like that.
I remember
It's
he fired his main security guy because the main security guy didn't want to get vaccinated.
Yeah, I remember one of those. Yeah, exactly. Back in the day. But I'm looking for this. They shared a Paul Lefebvre article on our Valley East communities page, and I can't find it now. I don't know why, but it was just Paul Lefebvre saying something about something or other. And the comments, I was like, oh my goodness, oh, they're just sharing Paul Lefebvre. I wonder how people feel about Paul Lefebvre. And I looked in the comments. Oh my, oh, here it is. Found it. 27 comments. More comments. So, picture of him with Chrystia Freeland, blah, blah, blah. So, Paul Lefebvre put a comment on his Facebook. So, it's been seeing extensive and positive impact in our city, greater city of Sudbury. Businesses, educational institutions, and innovation partners in mining, talent expertise that is concentrated at our local mining sector from exploration to extraction to supply and service to research and innovation. It's unparalleled. We will continue to work together to meet the demand for critical mineral processing in a low carbon economy. I appreciated the opportunity to address the participants at the Mine Africa event and thank all who attended the Sudbury reception. It shows him there hugging Chrystia Freeland, the Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, financial person, too. And the comments, I was just expecting to see mixed comments. Oh, Mayor, you're doing a great job. Thanks, man. Blah, blah, blah. Right away. We need a new mayor ASAP. We need a new mayor. Couldn't agree more. He's not for us. Waiting for an election. We need a new government. Mayor needs to step down and resign.
Is this the Sudbury mayor?
Yeah. This is people from Sudbury talking about the Sudbury mayor on the comments.
Like the new mayor we just got?
Yeah. Yeah, Paul Lefebvre.
That didn't take long. Oh, Paul Lefebvre.
Yeah. He's our mayor. He's the mayor of Sudbury. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he is our mayor. Okay.
He used to be the MP for Sudbury,
Oh,
liberal.
yes, that's true.
And that's why someone says the liberals, whatever. So mayor needs to step down. No doubt.
Wow.
Not a fan of those liberals. I agree. He's flying the same broom.
Yep.
Do people realize that Mark Sadeh and Paul Lefebvre are the people that voted in favor of carbon tax and were proud of it, making life unaffordable? Not once did they vote against Trudeau. The mayor sat in House of Commons. He knows the agenda. Can we just get all people running in the city office, transit, and everywhere to revamp them all? They're running this city like money grows on trees. Liberals are all together. Whatever. Sometimes you can't really decipher when people's comments. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
He should be embarrassed to have taken a picture with Chrystia Freeland. He should never have been elected as mayor. Just another liberal politician that wants to destroy our country. Just wait until they start with their 15-minute cities and jails. So it goes on and on and on and on. There's not one nice comment about the mayor there, which you would think
Oh, Paul LaFave.
there would be mixed. And
Nobody
you'd
likes
think
you.
we elected the guy
Yeah.
in the valley. You
Well,
know,
yeah, I
liberal.
thought we did.
We're liberal. We're a liberal town.
Right.
Liberal NDP. So socialist town.
A
Big
bunch
time.
of commies who don't realize they're commies.
Kind of thing. They don't realize it. They're actually conservative, but don't realize it and always vote NDP and liberal. But at the heart, when they care about the things they care about balanced budgets. If you asked anyone in Sudbury, would you want your government to balance a budget? They say, yeah. And that's conservative. What do you think about hunting rifles? Would you want to continue to hunt with your rifles? They'd say, yeah, I do. That's conservative. What about crime? You want crime to go up around? You want to be soft on criminals and just slap their hand? They go out and do major crimes and just kind of give them a little tap on the hand? No, I want them to go to jail. Conservative.
Right.
Everything you would ask somebody in a question like that, they would all say conservative answers. But say, well, who'd you vote for last time? Oh, Justin Trudeau. Oh, Mark City. You know, okay, did you know they don't agree with what things you agree with? You know,
Right.
Did you know that? They don't. They
No.
don't realize that they're conservative. And anyways,
No.
It is what it is. Peace, PPC all the way. That's from Awaken the Lion's Roar, which has a really, really great Facebook page, by the way. And this is the things we're talking about. Like, got a couple more minutes here. Another headline from Sudbury.com. Sudbury's police service far more secretive than counterparts.
Can you say that again?
Sudbury Police Service far more secretive than counterparts.
Okay.
If Greater Sudbury Police were investigating something as serious as a sudden death linked to a fire in your neighborhood, would you ever know about it? Not necessarily, given what Sudbury.com has learned about Greater Sudbury Police Service's current approach to sharing details about their day-to-day work. On December 3rd, 2023, city police were dispatched to a wooded area near Northfield Crescent in response to a sudden death. A bushfire had broken out at an encampment where firefighters found a deceased person. No media releases or public notification of any kind were issued by GSPS. That was until after local journalists were made aware of the situation and began inquiring about it more than a month later. So we're talking about a more recent issue here and not hearing the details of it, right? Far more public case. And this is an example
Who was
here.
this person?
The public one or the not so public
This one.
It was
Not so public.
a homeless person in an encampment.
Oh, so I guess like who cares?
That's what you would think. That's okay. The public perception would be the police don't care about this person, but is that the case? I remember seeing a motorcycle twisted up against a rock cut on Big Nickel Road, and ambulances and everything around it. You knew, like no one's going to survive that.
Right.
Nothing in the news. Zero. Zilch. Nada. I went looking. Nothing. Who was this person? Like
Yeah.
maybe the news story could have came out that would prevented another accident later. That, hey, maybe if you're on a motorcycle, slow down on Big Nickel Road because this person is no longer with us, or something, you know what I mean? But nada in the news about it.
They just want this facade of that the world is fine. Everything's fine. They don't want people thinking homeless people are just dying in the bush.
I don't know the reason why, right? You would think as a communications person with Greater Sudbury Police or whatever, they would encourage the police to be transparent with their citizens, right? Just to have that dialogue.
Yeah.
And other than to create suspicion and things like that amongst citizens, which is now the case with this latest, more high profile missing persons turned into a deceased person. Nothing to see here. Pat us all on the back, like Paul Lefebvre was patting everyone on the back. Look how great the city is. Oh, we're great. It's like, really? Really? Oh, we do so many great things. This city.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
I don't know if I
Or
see the same thing.
they no, this is not happening. Or they want us to like dislike the police. So when this new law comes into place, we'll have so much to share. And then it's like jail, jail, jail.
Well, that's the case everywhere. Like, I mean, there's so many things going on in our community, in our province, country, world, that I don't know. It's like we're being bombarded with craziness, insanity around the world. You don't even know what to focus on because there's so many things. Dan, good morning. Thanks for being with us. Great to have you on. First time I've seen you on. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah, that's good. When my brother was killed on his motorcycle, there were 5 fatalities in that same area. Belinda just said.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so I'm just wondering.
On Nickel. What I just
See the comment.
Big Nickel Road.
In that same area before something was done.
Interesting.
So that's probably a thing too. They're like, if people start finding out that there's accidents, then they're gonna want us to go spend some money and do something. So they're just like, let's just keep it quiet.
I don't know why things are quiet and why some things are publicized, but why should they be the deciders of this? You know what I mean? Someone dies, it should have, it should be protocol. You follow it, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know? You make a statement, it goes out there, journalists can write about it. If you did something wrong, you need to be accountable too. The more you have secretive things going on, the more you don't have trust with your public. And there's lots of things like that going on because we're a little bit isolated up here.
Yep.
A little bit isolated. And so it can become an echo chamber in our courthouse and in the police and in the city council, and a little bubble goes on. And
I would like to know who accepted or approved Justin Trudeau's $30 million a year budget for his security.
Well, he did. He approved it. The Liberals, there's lots going on here. Even if you just look at some of these headlines from the Epoch Times just recently. Look at the Canadian headlines here. This is craziness. Ottawa rejects Commission's recommendation to disclose Emergencies Act documents. So the Emergencies Act, they evoked the War Measures Act against peaceful protesters, and they had their own commission, and they said, oh, you didn't do anything, Prime Minister, nothing wrong, everything's good. And then the actual courts got a hold of it and said, no, you overstepped your bounds. Anyways, now it's going to go to the Supreme Court because they're appealing it. Ottawa has no plans to hand over documents related to its Emergencies Act, even though the Public Order Emergency Commission recommended future governments to do so. The commission made 56 recommendations for future emergencies, including the government providing all of the inputs to cabinet and ministers on the issue. So they had this commission come together and make recommendations about the Emergencies Act and why it was invoked and what we should do if one happens again, if you're thinking of doing it again. One was to provide all the documents related to why you invoked the Emergencies Act, which this government says they're not going to release. We're not going to release.
Wow.
Maybe future governments if they do it in the future. But they're so non-transparent. They're so blatantly disregarding law. And it's crazy. So that brings us to our next story. Chinese military saw Winnipeg as the Winnipeg lab as a base to further its virus research. You remember before the last 4 years happened? Well, they're saying it could have happened right out of Winnipeg. The lab there could have been the beginning of that whole thing. And then that went to Wuhan from Winnipeg. So the Chinese military saw Canada's top biosafety laboratory and one of its scientists who was eventually fired for security breaches as important assets to further its own virus research, the government records show. So why does this matter? Details continue to emerge of the relationship between Canadian scientists and Chinese scientists and its lab in Wuhan. So they were going to have a committee discuss this, and the Liberal and NDP shut it down. They said, no, we're not going to have this committee looking into who's responsible for this, and just shut it down. I propose that we just shut it down. Okay, we all vote in favor. I'll say aye. Okay, nothing to see here. And that's at our federal level, looking at something that caused that to happen in the whole entire world. And they just simply, one MP just said, nah, you know what? We're not going to discuss this today. Shut the meeting down. And now this Ottawa claims new online harms bill would set high bar for determining what constitutes hate speech. Just these three stories alone in Canada are huge. You could probably spend a year on a show like this talking about these things every single day. But no, we got MAID. We have legalizing of harmful drugs and giving it to people on taxpayers' dime. We have
it's illegal for you to stop your child from transitioning. You can actually be imprisoned as well. And I know none of this is being reinforced right now, but the scary part is when they start doing that.
Oh yeah, I know.
And that could be an option for them to do that.
They're all talking about it right now. They're all making laws about it. They're passing bills. They're kind of getting ready for this thing. They're taking away your guns. Yeah. They're, it's crazy. If you connect all the dots, it's looking for a totalitarian style ruling government.
And it's funny because I've always had this fear of being in a concentration camp, and what a weird fear to have, Aaron. That makes no sense. And it's just ooh.
Well,
there won't be a jail. There won't be enough people in the jails. I mean, sorry, the jail won't be
big
spacious enough.
Yeah.
So, I remember talking to my therapist, and I'm like, that just sounds crazy. She's like, well, let's talk about that, Nick. What happens if you go in a concentration camp? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to rock that concentration camp because they can't take my spirit away. And I'm going to stay positive. We're going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya and just wait for the savior.
That's it. You can only do what you can do with what you got at the time.
Exactly. I'll be a Gandhi. I'll try.
And with that, at least you left us with a positive note for the last part of the show. So thanks, everyone.
You know what, Aaron? Regardless of everything that's going on, we as a civilization have the opportunity to still look at the positive because there's a lot of positives happening. There's still lots of miracles. There's so much love. There's so much joy that's happening. Mm-hmm. I'm just so blessed in my life that I'm just going to focus on the positive, focus on the good stuff because I know this is all happening for a greater purpose, a greater plan. And that's why I'm so grateful to have faith and that I believe in a higher power and I believe in Jesus Christ. And guys, I don't know, but there's some crazy prophecies happening and he said he's coming back. So I'm going to believe him. So I'm just going to believe that this is all happening on purpose.
And with that, I give a shout out to Barry on the show here. He says, China, I remember saying that a while back.
Yeah, and, China. That's where we are.
So thanks for the positiveness, Nick. We appreciate it. So you'll rock the concentration camp in the future, but you're rocking the show at this time anyways. So thanks everyone. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate everybody being on. We'll be back same time, same place, God willing, tomorrow. Have a great one, everyone. Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.